From our last episode, we already talked about the first part of economics of Asian regionalism. Before we continue our podcast, let's recap. The term regionalism refers to the process of building regional institutions, a process that involves the governments of Asia Major. It is a relatively new aspect of Asia's rise. Asia's economies are increasingly connected through trade and financial transactions. On the other hand, Asian regionalism is defined as a political ideology that favors a specific region over a greater area.
The case for regionalism therefore has to be carefully formulated.
Oh, you're here, partner? Oh my gosh, thank you for your participation. Well, you're quite right. Because regionalism must not lead to protectionist blocs. A fortress Asia is no more desirable than a fortress Europe or North America would be. The difference between regionalism and protectionism is that the latter involves policies that countries use to protect their own industries from foreign competition. This includes the tariffs, import quotas, or other barriers to trade. Protectionism generally limits the flow of goods and services. And the Fortress Asia refers to an extreme form of regionalism where Asian countries close themselves off from the rest of the world in an attempt to protect their own economies from outside competition. Partner. This could mean creating exclusive trade blocs or implementing heavy restrictions on imports and foreign investments, wherein, at first glance, it is a way to strengthen the region's economies in short term, huh? But it can also have negative long term effects, such as economic insufficiency, higher costs for consumers, and global tensions. Now, this emerges from the comparison between what we say Fortress Europe or North America that has a close region. I hope, partner, you understood that, and also to our listeners out there.
But the open, outward oriented regionalism that is emerging in Asia can avoid posing such a threat.
And also, partner, ha, dagdag ko lang. Just as the absence of barriers to commerce within national economies, that is, among the states and provinces of countries such as the People's Republic of China, India, Germany, and the United States, is generally beneficial. So is the creation of a market spanning several national economies. Much of the evidences assembled in this report suggests that Asia has and will continue to have a fundamental stake in both regional and global integration. This only means that Asia's economic, political, and social future is heavily tied to its ability to stay engaged with both regional and global processes. In a rapidly globalizing world, Asia cannot afford to isolate itself. It must continue to actively participate in both regional partnerships like ASEAN and global networks such as international trade to secure long term stability and growth. What can you say about this, partner? Partner, hello. Okay. Wala. Wala siyang signal. Well then, I will conclude that Asia comprises several powerful countries such as Japan, China, South Korea, and centers of economic activity such as Tokyo, Japan, Singapore, and etc. With many shared economic priorities, such as the economic strength and importance of Asia, both as region and in the context of global economy, but also some diverging ones. At times, these differences are amplified by history and politics, wherein the price of cooperation is the loss of some national sovereignty, security, and economic prosperity, wherein it acknowledges challenges of cooperation but emphasizes the broader advantage. And that's all for our podcast for today. Thank you for listening, everyone, and I hope that you learned something from me. as we talked about the economics of Asian regionalism. I hope that you listen again for another podcast next Thursday, most probably. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.